Uranium friends, nuclear tech. So these builders and whatnot. Let's take a look. So NLR, I've never really tracked this one that much, but it is seeing volume and it is seeing price. We need to look at it, right? So, the holdings are different than URA and URNM. It is not just a pure, there's not much in the way of mining in here. So, take that however you want to take it. So, nuclear tech in general is actually doing very extremely well. One could say better than the miners. So, the uranium mining purist is missing the boat. As far as I'm concerned, in the nuclear renaissance, uh, NLR and Nukz will tell you that. URA was smart enough to add some of those names like SMR and Oklo into them. So you can see that in its performance above URNM and URNJ. So regardless of that, we're talking about nuclear tech. NLR is coming up to test its all-time highs, levels it hasn't seen since, you know, 17 years ago. So uh, wonderful look to it, right? And this just tells you the story, man. The volume has come in, has poured into this name for the past year. And that should tell you that there's interest. Look at this volume change. You have never seen that in this name before. Let's just look, make sure I'm right. Nope, never seen it. That is volume. That it makes it say there's a change in the works. And the price action and the volume are telling you that. So NLR, it's a lower liquidity name in my opinion, but it's changing, so that's the deal. But still the same type of situation, right? So it's just like the rest of the sector. It's moving up in a parabolic sense with very little consolidation along the way, coming into historical weekly overbought levels. Consolidation is due across the board. When, how, what it looks like, don't know. But for me right now, 104 is the most important level on NLR. Again, I don't follow, I don't even play the name. I guess I'll have to look at the option chain to see what that looks like, but it's the same deal. So, and UKZ, in my other video, I kind of went over it, but we will go over it again here because not everybody's going to look at uranium mining videos, and for good reason. That is not the place to be in nuclear at the moment. We will all want that to change, I'm sure, because you were all promised 10x by some sort of subscription based frauds or newsletter writers, or whatever, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. So, Nuke's the same deal, right? So it's the daily 50 EMA, daily 50 day moving average, 54 in this base of support. It starts to look like the zones that should hold. If not, maybe it comes back to retest this breakout. So even it comes down to like 52, 51, 50, it's actually perfectly reasonable due to the fact that breakouts, they can get retested. That's kind of what equities do in markets. So the ETFs are looking great. There is nothing that says that you should be out of this name at this point, other than the fact that maybe you want to take some profits into these overbought conditions. Again, individual decisions for people. Um, but the ETFs, as long as these ETFs are going to be going, your Oklos, your SMRs, and whatnot are going to be going as well. So ASPI, interesting name. And I again tweeted about this when they did the financing. It's just for me, it's as clear as day, right? So $9 is a technical floor. It's just that simple. So now the financing was done at $8, right? So when these things happen, I simplify it as much as I can, and it's just this simple. Okay, $9 is a technical floor. $8 is the fundamental for. Simple as that. So those two levels I'm going to always have in my brain to be thinking about as the price action progresses. Now, to me, this is very bullish. It didn't even. It's holding 10, so $2 above the recent private placement. And they had some news today about them throwing a couple of million, I think 5 million, into a another isotope type of startup. So, and the reaction is nothing bearish about the reaction at all. So, and I tweeted it again today. I said it today. $10 is holding up really well on the name. So it's held up on two fundamental bearish type catalyst, for lack of a better term. I mean, there's going to be someone who's a true fundamentalist. That's not bearish that they got an investment from one private guy. Well, it's $9. Uh, I'm sorry. The investment's at 8. So, you know, I always expect price to revisit those areas. How quickly it does it is a different story. We'll see. But right now, it's just holding up very, very well. You can't even call this a cup and handle because the right side is above the left. So what can we glean from the weekly? Just continuing on. Right? This is still a value area, but there's a case to be made that this $7 to essentially 9 is another value area. What is this low right here? Come on, you. There you go. Yeah, 7 to 9 it can be construed as a bit of a value area. And the volume profile kind of affirms that. So ASPI is doing fine, right? Again, this is like, I see no reason to get out of the name. If $9 fails, I'm expecting 8 to be tested after that. So, I'm not sticking around if $9 fails. For those who have fundamental conviction in a name, great. Absolutely, I'm all for it. So ASPI it's trading very well. To me it's bullish because not only is it holding 9 into an $8 financing, but it's really holding 10 into just throwing money at something. So it's clear the financing is being used to fund that purchase of that isotope company. I'll tell you what it is right now. IsoBio. Okay, so they're seed funding a startup, you know. So we'll see how that plays out over the long term. You fundamental guys, I'm sure you could opine about it to tell me I'm right or tell me I'm wrong, but whatever. BWXT. Now this is the chart of charts, and I'm going to tell you right now, I completely mucked this dip up. I really didn't play it well, but I don't play BWXT that much. But how do you not be in a chart like that, right? So it's just, since the life of this stock, the past 15 years, it's just going up all the time. It just tells you that substantial dips in a name like this is probably heavily institutionally owned. Naval contracts, nuclear plant builders. It just tells you that when there's a dip, it's for buying. It's absolutely for buying. And there's a clear line of support around this 86 area. I don't know if it revisits it anytime soon. I have no idea. But we'll see. Either way, BWXT is doing absolutely fine. It's not like the greatest dividend on this thing, but it's something, right? It's something to tell you to hold. Right now, it's 136 is a pretty good support. Beyond that, below that, it starts to get a little shaky, right? So when you have high institutional ownership, tradable floats, they become smaller. So this is probably the dynamic here with this name. Good to keep it on the radar. Good to get those nice size monthly dips into this rising 50 EMA on the monthly. It tells you, the chart's been telling you since it's been around, that that's the spot to be doing it. So, personally, not overly enthusiastic about having this in my portfolio, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to trade it. But not here and not now. Uh, Monthly RSI divergence coming into play. Let's see if the weekly has it. Yeah, weekly's got it too, and daily have it. And daily's got it too, so I would suspect at some point there's some sort of cooling down. I'm not going to short it. I'm not going to long it. I'll see what happens when it gets down into this 130 area, and I'll just take it from there. Who else is a purist builder? Blah, blah, blah. LEU, so fuel fabricator. No need to talk about this thing. It's just insanity. Another one that I missed completely, right? And volume is speaking. It's gotten through this big value area, but it is coming to a spot where it may reject up here. But LEU is just fantastic, and they're all government contracts and whatnot, so it should be fine. But I'm only looking to grab this thing on some sort of drawdown. It's just from the dawn of time since I've been following this sector. I've told everybody in Chart Guys, and I've spoke about it on Twitter. LEU can rip your face off, but it can do it in both directions. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one to play. I've played it well in the past. I'll probably play it again in whatever situation I can. But it's running hot, and most time frames are running with. Let me even look at the 12-hour. Yeah, all these time frames, even the shorter term time frames, are just running some pretty heavy duty RSI divergence. 4 hours a little too tight. So I would just take it as that until something changes, right? But I'll be looking for a weekly or monthly dips on this thing to decide if I want to position up, and other factors within the market will be important as well. So LTBR, and again, I've talked about this, is the lifetime chart, right? So it's been down forever since it's been around for 20 something years, right? 24, 25 years. But that's changing again, just like NLR is changing. You can see the volume that's come in, right? And this is a big base that it has formed over the past. It's just, you can even go back to like 16 January 17, right? So over the past 7-8 years, it's been in this base. It's getting out of it. It's breaking out of that base, right? So the levels that are going to have to start coming into play as resistance are up in this 22, 24 area, right? Um, so, and I have no reason to leave this name at the moment. Personally, I might chop around because, as I've been talking about, it's a weekly cup and handle. It's a pretty textbook one, and it's following all the rules, right? So, what's the main characteristic to say that the probability that this weekly cup and handle confirms? Now, cup and handle, it is a continuation pattern, right? Which means that, yes, some consolidation into continuation, which means up and up it goes, right? So, uh, the main characteristic one should be aware of is the handle, right? This is the handle. Here's your cup. And the handle is a bull flag. And what you don't want to happen is you don't want to lose this 0.382% retracement, because that says that the handle, the bull flag, is starting to have less likelihood of confirming. Well, the buyers are stepping in now for the past couple weeks. And that's the characteristic of the bull flag, and that's the characteristic of the handle. So for me, price action is obviously saying, listen, 15, it's just fighting 15 right now. 15, the bears are just keep stepping in at 15. We see it on a daily. Yeah, I mean, they're just stepping in, but the bulls are just stepping in, you know, at 13, really. So this is this ongoing battle, right? The rise and then the dump, the rise and then maybe the dump. We'll see, right? But as long as it keeps making, sorry about the throat clearing. As long as it keeps making a higher high and a higher low, no reason not to stay in the name. The trend is your friend. Option chain is a little rough on this thing, right? Big spreads, not a lot of call strikes. So to get those, for lack of a better term, degenerate option players to push this name around and gamma squeeze it, well, it's the chain is not populated enough for that. So organically is the way this thing is going to play, in my opinion, unless the option chain changes. But I will say it again: there's no reason to leave this name until 1178 breaks down. Then there's probably a reason to say, all right, well, this technical pattern may have failed, right? So there's a lot of rejections up here, so it's got to push through to make its way to leg up again. But there is no doubt in my mind that this chart has changed. It has absolutely changed out of a very long base. And I would say it's we should pay attention to that. MIR is kind of a newer name in my watch list, but they do like nuclear safety tech and stuff like that. So the plant builders are going to want to use their stuff, I would guess, right? So engage in improving radiation safety science and medicine, right? So it's there. They do stuff that's related to nuclear. They belong in the nuclear tech sector, and it's a great chart, right? So, uh, dips are to be bought if you're a believer in the nuclear renaissance that we are going through right now. There's no dividend on this thing, so this is just a this is a good slow grinder, but same type of move with the rest of the sector. Nano nuclear NNE, this thing whips you around, right? But still, as much as whatever's going on with the name, it's just grinding up, right? So Oklo and SMR have made new all-time highs. This thing is kind of testing, right? So these consolidations, the daily stuff, perfectly fine. Just got to have this 32 area hold, right? 3250. This is the spot that we want to hold. And it becomes very low risk to buy down here if it gets down here. That's just the simple way that I view these things. The moving average metrics are saying that if it comes down here, they can act as support. They are getting a little stretch. Um, Plenty of room for this to go still, but that doesn't mean it's going to. So daily consolidation is underway. You have to see what that looks like, right? So it still looks fine. It's healthy. I kind of lump this in with SMR and Oklo. These three are kind of my three smaller plant builders. So I just view it as that. Oklo, another run at the all-time highs. Still making new all-time highs. Now back here, I did say 70 was my target. It made that target. It back tested a little bit. I know that there's calls coming in for the $100 strikes in September. I'm keeping an eye on that, right? So the daily is fine. All the dips are being bought. It's just there's very little consolidation in the name. The dips are getting bought, right? So monthly, just straight up parabolic-ish. But not really when you look at the daily. So this, the good thing about the name is that it provides the opportunity for dip buying over and over, right? Dip buys, dip buys, dip buys. painful dip buy, right? So, and Sam Altman, don't discount the guy. I don't know who cares about him or what they follow, but it's a name that attracts investment. It's got a thriving option chain. The generalist investor is on this one. The nuclear theme is making its way out into the generalist investor world. So pays to pay attention. SMR, same type of deal, right? All-time highs once again, right? And this is one heck of a play. So the nuclear tech, let me just make sure I'm not missing anything that any of us care about. The nuclear tech names are doing great. They're consolidating at highs and then just making new highs. That's fantastic. There's no reason to be not, by saying, even taking trades on this stuff. Shorter term trades are working. Keep doing stuff until it stops working. That's the way I'm playing it. Over and out.